Hi, friends. Do you feel like you're going COVID crazy? Like no matter what you do, your mind is going in circles and you're feeling stressed? Well, one of my listeners said that to me and asked me a very poignant question. And I'm going to spend a little time today answering that question for her. And we'll get to it in just a moment. Hi, friends. I'm Marcyline Bailey, and you are inside of Stress Talk with Marcyline. I believe that there is a better way to address overwhelming stress. Right now, I think that working women choose three paths. They either ignore it, they look on the internet for short-term relief, and they also just power through it. At least they think they are. But all of that leads us into burnout when we are depleted and we have very little energy. Well, today is Q&A day. I'm going to be answering one particular question that came from one of my listeners. And I'm going to read what she said. She said, "Hey, Marcy, I feel COVID crazy. All of this masking and isolation and being fearful that I'm going to get COVID is driving me nuts. And then I have to deal with other people who aren't taking it seriously and all this changing information. I just want it all to end. What can I do? How can I cope with all of this?" Well, we're going to answer some of that for her today. And I'm also going to share a resource that I think is going to be very helpful for those of you who feel the same way that she does. But first, one of the things I want to emphasize is if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, you're not alone. We're all struggling with where we are right now. And it's very natural for us to wonder what's next. What can we do? Well, think about it. There's so many uncertainties that we're dealing with, and we're unaccustomed to dealing with that. We're not accustomed to being concerned about a condition that there's no cure for. I remember being a kid and lining up to get the German measles vaccine, right? I remember they had this little gun. We thought it was so cool because they would stick it in our arms and go, and then we would move on to the next station. But for COVID-19, there is no cure, and the vaccine has just been released. So there's a lot of uncertainty around that. Also, the criteria continues to change, and there's different criteria in different states. So a lot of that is contributing to the worry, the concern, and the fears that many of us are feeling. In addition to that, I know that some of you know, and I know, people who have lost loved ones because of COVID-19. And so there is the feeling of loss that we're experiencing as well. Losing people that we care about. Some people have lost their employment and their livelihood is threatened. So that's another weight that's causing increased stress. We're in uncharted territory. We are unaccustomed to all of this. Remember when there was a toilet paper shortage and we were like, what is this? What's going on? Well, people of my generation and younger generations have no concept of what it's like to have lack. We really don't. We're accustomed to having things at our fingertips and having it instantaneously, right? We're used to going through that drive-through line and getting our meal in a couple of minutes. We're accustomed to having everything we want, I should say, everything we need and much of what we want just by virtue of our phones, making orders, picking up the phone and calling, going on the internet and placing an order. We're accustomed to that instantaneous gratification. So not having things is unusual for us, and we don't understand it. Also, there are a lot of questions around COVID-19 and just this pandemic. And we feel threatened because we're uncertain about our stability, we're not sure about our safety or our security. And remember, these are very important aspects of having a stress-free life: stability, safety, and security. So in addition to understanding what's happening, and in addition to knowing that you're not alone, there's another aspect that we're dealing with as it relates to the pandemic, and that is burnout. When we're dealing with all of these uncertainties and all of the fear and the loss that people have experienced, we have put a lot of energy into just our day-to-day lives. Our actions, our thoughts, our beliefs, we put a lot of energy into that. And it's leading us down a road of burnout. And yes, burnout is real. Burnout occurs when we're depleted. We have no more energy. We lack energy mentally, physically, emotionally, as well as spiritually. And that is a very serious condition. We're overstressed and we are in distress. So I'll talk about the differences between burnout and being overstressed. And I want to just briefly explain that. When you're overstressed, generally you're in overdrive. You're chugging along and you're moving at a fast pace. It's almost like you're running on a treadmill and you can't stop. And I'm sure many of you probably recognize that feeling or know that feeling because you've been there before. But it's a feeling like you can't stop, you can't slow down. You become hyper vigilant about a lot of things. You're putting a lot of energy and expending a lot of energy just trying to stay afloat. And that's where many of us are right now during this pandemic. When you reach burnout, however, you can't function. You cannot think. You cannot move. You just have no energy at all. When we're at burnout, the best most of us can do is just lie in bed. That's a serious place to be. We don't want to think. We don't want to move. We don't want to face life. We are done. It's too much, and we've expended all of our energy. Think about a car. When a car has run out of gas, the only thing you can do is push it to the side and either go walk and get some gas, hope somebody picks you up to take you to the gas station, or you just sit there. And burnout is very similar to that. You can't do anything because you don't have the energy. So, what's some solutions to this? Because that is what my listener asked me. How can I cope? And that's what I want to share with you today. The best way to cope with this situation that we know as the COVID-19 pandemic. First, you want to start tracking your stress level. And you can begin by just monitoring your stress level several times a day. So, how can you do that? You want to rate your stress based on a continuum with a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being I'm chilling and motoring like it's a Sunday afternoon and we're driving to get some ice cream. Okay? There's no worries, no concerns. You're all good. A 10 means that you're about to pull your hair out, you're about to pull somebody else's hair out, and you're going to slap the next 10 people that you see. That's a 10. So on that continuum of 1 to 10, rate yourself, rate your stress level. I suggest you start in the morning when you wake up. What is your stress level when you first wake up? And then at some point, mid-morning or maybe early afternoon, lunchtime, rate your stress level again. And then in the evening, rate your stress level on that 1 to 10. The reason you want to do that is because that will give you an idea of where you are on any given day. You'll also have data that you can use to determine what's causing your stress levels to go up. So it's very important, I think, to begin to track your stress level several times a day. The next thing that you can do is to do body scans. And I am a proponent of body scans. A body scan is a mindfulness exercise, and it enables you to become aware of your stress level before it becomes overwhelming. You essentially start at your toes and you bring your awareness to each part of your body. You start with your left foot and you bring your awareness and your attention to your left toes. And you just stay there for just a couple seconds. And then you slowly move up your body and move your awareness and your attention to each part of your body until you get to your entire head. Your entire head? I know I said that kind of weird. What I was trying to say is until you scan your entire body all the way up to your head. Okay, that was a little better. You want to do that again because it enables you to just get a sense of the stress that you hold in your body. Remember, stress is a physical response. So because it is a physical response, you're going to feel it in different parts of your body. So begin by monitoring your stress level using a continuum of 1 to 10. 1 is you're chilling, you're all good. 10 is you're on fire and don't mess with me. Then you also want to do a body scan. So once you start to track, you also want to pay attention to what causes your stress level to increase. Does your stress level increase when you have conversations? Does it increase when you have a certain conversation? Does it increase when you have a certain conversation with a certain person? That's what you want to just pay attention to. Just notice. Also, are images that you see on the television, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Pinterest, on any of the social media, does that increase your stress level? Are some of the things that you're reading on your social media increasing your stress level? In addition to that, what responsibilities that you're carrying out throughout the day, what responsibilities are causing your stress level to increase? I hear my dog barking. She's not COVID crazy, but sometimes she drives me crazy, especially when she doesn't want to go outside. When it's raining, she's really, I don't know, she's a little picky little thing. She doesn't like to go outside, but that's a whole different conversation. And we'll talk about that another time. So we're getting back to just understanding what causes your stress levels to increase. So conversations, images, stories that you're seeing on television or on your social media, or your responsibilities. So I've talked about tracking, doing scans, monitoring your stress level throughout the day, making sure you're doing body scans throughout the day to see where that stress is in your body. Also, understanding what is causing your stress level to increase. The other thing we want to do is to make sure you have clarity. And that's what we've been talking about all month, right? We've been talking about having clarity of vision, clarity of your values, as well as clarity of your view. And when we talk about value, we're talking about what you hold dear. What are those things that are meaningful for you? When we're talking about vision, we're talking about your commitment to the life and lifestyle that you desire. And that encompasses the material things, the feelings you want to experience, your interactions, as well as your relationships. And then third, view. We're talking about your viewpoint, how you see and relate to the world around you. So we want to, and I want to keep sharing this, we want to track, we want to gain clarity. The next part of de-stressing and coping through the pandemic is being present. You want to intentionally pay attention to the present moment without judgment, with curiosity and compassion. That is the definition of being mindful and mindfulness. When we pay attention to the present moment, we filter out all of that stuff that causes us to become anxious and causes us to become more stressed. So we want to practice mindfulness. Again, intentionally paying attention to the present moment with curiosity and compassion and without judgment. In addition to being present, we also want to practice loving kindness, and that's wishing ourselves well, extending kindness and compassion to ourselves as well as to others. And that is a very important piece, because when we practice loving kindness, it makes us feel better. We feel good. It actually releases dopamine, all of that good feeling hormone, and it makes us feel better. We feel really good. So it is important for us to practice loving kindness. How do we do that? Well, I'm kind of old school, and I'm not kind of old school. I am old school. And I grew up watching people sit on the front porch as they talk to somebody else who was sitting on their porch, right? We can do that. Do porch talk. And if you don't have a porch, stand in your cul-de-sac or on your street, maintaining social distancing, and talk to your neighbors. We do that a lot in our neighborhood, actually. We talk to our neighbors. Do a video chat with people that you care about. 2 high school friends of mine and I actually talk to each other. We do a chat with each other once a month by Zoom. And it's so funny, but it feels so good because we talk about things that are important to us. And we just chit chat, right? I mean, yesterday my hair was all over my hair. It's probably like that now, but it was all over my head. And one of my friends, she had her head tied up, And my other friend, she was just chilling, relaxed in her home. And we had the best time. We spent about an hour together every month. And it's been so good just catching up. So do a Zoom, do a video chat. Also, take a drive. You can drive to the Dairy Queen. You don't have to get Dairy Queen, but just drive. Notice the sights, notice the sounds. Get out and walk if you can. So go old school. We don't have to be in front of our devices all the time. I had to take a sip of tea. This is actually orange, almond, black, and green tea. And it's loose leaf. It is delicious. It's very good. So let me talk about resources, because I want to share, in addition to those suggestions that I'm making to you all, I also want to share a resource that I think is really pretty super. So I'm gonna, let's see, how can I do this? I'm gonna share my screen and share this resource. This resource is called How Right Now, and it is a website. It is howrightnow.org. Howrightnow.org. And the cool thing about this website is that it is sponsored or funded through the CDC Foundation. And I came to this website, and I think it's so poignant, but I'm going to go through it. So we're probably going to go over our 30 minutes today. So I hope you all are okay with that. If not, I'm glad you joined me, but I want to go through this website because I think it is a valuable resource. So when you get to the website, you'll see that there's a question here. And at the bottom of the website, you have the ability to exit the site. And it says safely exit. You can quickly leave this website by clicking on the X icon at the bottom left of the screen. The X will direct you to a blank Google search page. First of all, I think that's really neat because sometimes we get to a website and we wonder if we're in the right place. And we also wonder if we can leave it safely without causing any damage to our computers. Well, this website tells you that up front. So I'm going to X out of that. I'm not going to X out of the site. I'm just Xing out of that banner. As you can see, the exit site button is still on the bottom left, excuse me, on the bottom left of the page. So when you get to the home page, and this is the home page of the How Right Now website, and you find that at howrightnow.org. The first question is, how are you feeling? We are often asked this and we say fine. How many of you say fine? I know I tend to do that even when I'm not fine. I just say, yeah, I'm good. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm fine. The website goes on to say, or this page says, but this has been a difficult time lately and emotions can be complex. You may be feeling sad, worried, or stressed. It helps to stay positive and remind yourself of your strengths. Scroll down for inspiration and resources to find what helps. So I'm going to scroll down the page and I'm going to show you what's on this particular page. So as you can see, there is an arrow in the next section, and it points to a question. That question says, truthfully, how are you feeling today? Now, again, I think this is so so important and so poignant because how many times do we ask our friends, our family members, or our coworkers to tell us the truth? When we ask them, hey, how are you doing? And they say, I'm good. How many of us actually go to the next step and say, okay, so yeah, tell me the truth. How are you really feeling today? This site actually took that step. And as you'll see in this section, it lists different emotions: afraid, angry, grieving, lonely, sad, stressed, worried, and not sure. Because there are times when we're having feelings, but we don't know what those feelings are. We can't describe them. We don't have the words. We don't have a way to say it so that it makes sense. So when you go to this, you will see when you put your cursor on one of the boxes, you will actually see it describes. So right now I have my pointer, my cursor on the afraid box, and it says, you may feel afraid about your health or the well-being of a loved one. You may be afraid for your safety. I can actually click on this arrow, the arrow that's in this box, and it will take me to another page with resources. Because we're talking about stress, I'm going to go to the stressed box. And it says, stressed, you may have increased caregiving responsibilities, financial challenges, or health concerns. And again, if I click on this box, it will take me to resources. I'm going to come back to that, but I want to show you what else is on this home page. So as I scroll down this home page, there's another section that says start a conversation. Talking with friends, neighbors, and loved ones about your feelings and concerns can relieve stress and promote resilience. Use these tools to start a conversation. Next to that wording, there's a box that says learn more. To the right, there's a box that says learn more. I can click on that box and it will take me to another page that will help me to start a conversation. As I scroll down this home page, continue to scroll down, looking for inspiration, see what's helping other people who are dealing with some of the same feelings. To the right of that wording, there's another box that says, see what's helping others. I can click on that box and it will take me to a page that will show me what others are doing to help themselves. And when I scroll to the next section on this page, this home page, this section provides resources. All I need to do is click on the box to the right, and it will take me to resources. I can scroll further down, and it tells me about the people who are supporting the How Right Now initiative that is being provided by the CDC Foundation. And I can click on the box that says See Initiative Partners, and it will take me to that page. So I'm going to scroll up, and I hope you all are still with me because I think this website is really cool. I'm going to scroll back up to the area that says truthfully, how are you feeling today? And I'm going to click on the box that says stressed. When I click on that box, it takes me to a page that answers the question, what is stress? Stress is the result of pressures or tensions and how our body responds. Remember, stress is a physical response. As I scroll down, I see a number of resources, coping with stress, and I can click on that box, and it will take me to an overview to learn more about stress and what I can do to help myself. Then, as I continue to scroll down this page, it has a number of different resources. A resource that's an online guide to talk about mental health, an article that from the CDC that shares how to cope with stress during COVID-19, a resource guide from NAMI, which is a volunteer organization that deals with mental illness, and they have a COVID-19 resource and information guide. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs also has an article on how to manage stress associated with the COVID-19 outbreak. As I continue to scroll down, there are additional resources. AARP has an article. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention has an article. The Center for American Indian Health has a fact sheet. On and on. Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA, also has a fact sheet. Even the American Heart Association has a fact sheet about fighting stress with healthy habits. I think, again, this is another excellent resource for those of us who are dealing with stress. NAMI, Mental Health Resources for African Americans. Feeding America, find your local food bank. Okay, so again, this is just another page of resources dealing with stress. As I scroll down, I can explore other emotions. So let's explore sad. And I just clicked on that box. What is sadness? Sadness is a common emotion, sometimes caused by an event or loss. And again, as I scroll down, you can see the number of resources, resource information that is available from a host of organizations to assist individuals, families who are struggling with stress and other emotions during this pandemic. So I want you to check out this website a little bit more. I'm actually going to put up here we go. There you go. The howrightnow.org is how you can get to it. Again, it is it's a free resource for anyone who needs it. I am going to also post a link to a toolkit that was developed by the How Right Now organization. So I'm going to post that on my Facebook page, ML Bailey Consultants. I'm also going to post it in the Stress Talk Facebook group. And feel free to go to it. You can certainly go to that and download it. It's a free download. I downloaded it, and it has links to different resources. Thanks, Dolores. It's good to see you. Yeah, I'm really glad when I saw that resource, How Right Now. I was like, oh, this is perfect. Because we all have questions about how we can manage through all of this. It's just, we need to support each other. And this is a way to do it. Also, if any of you need additional support resources, I want you to check out the Agape Health and Wellness Transformation Group. It is hosted by Dolores Benson. I've known her for a long time. She's a wonderful woman, a Northwestern University graduate, so she's really smart. And she's very kind. She has a group for women who need the support so that we can help ourselves to be healthy in every way. So that is the Agape Health and Wellness Transformation Group, and it's hosted by Dolores Benson. So I know I've kept you longer than I usually do. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for checking me out. I'm going to post the replay in our Stress Talk Facebook group. I'm also, as you know, you can always catch the audio on the Stress Talk podcast. You can find that podcast on Anchor, Google, Apple, Spotify, and several others, several other podcast hosts. So I'm glad you joined me. Hey, we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through it together. I'm Marcyline Bailey. I'm glad you're with me. Stick with me. I'm going to be around. Take good care and take care of each other.